Hi, I'm Alex Stupak, and today we are cooking an ultra-virtuous, extreme Locavore wild spinach quesadilla. As a chef, I'm naturally prone to inspiration. The search for great ingredients and techniques drives me every day, and I found that sometimes the next delicious dish is just around the corner. The other day I was walking around one of the more gentrified parts of Brooklyn when I came across these beautiful lamb's quarters, better known as wild spinach. Look at them, just growing out of the ground, like Mother Nature intended. It's an outdoor phenomenon hiding in plain sight. Perfectly edible plants growing out of unlikely spots on sidewalks, near curbs, and about anywhere else dogs like to pee. As an experienced locavore, I knew that these would be the perfect addition to a seasonal summer quesadilla, so I ethically extracted them from their natural habitat. This practice is called urban foraging, the practice of discovering, harvesting, and cooking with things that grow wild in cities. And when you're as committed to the environment as I am, it's just the most virtuous way to eat locally. From there, I was off to the Union Square Green Market in Manhattan to pick up some local ingredients for a great salsa to go with the quesadilla. Farmers and vendors travel by car and truck from all over the region to sell their wares. From fresh produce to cheeses and meat, you just can't help but shop local here. This place is the best kept secret among New York chefs. Okay, here's what I got. Cherry tomatoes, a Thai chili plant, some spring onions, and cilantro. Now obviously, a quesadilla needs tortillas, and we serve some of the city's best at the Empeon restaurants, so I hailed a cab and headed west to Midtown to visit Empeon Taqueria at Waterline Square. We make our tortillas locally at the restaurant daily using Olotillo Blanco corn imported from Oaxaca. Now if you don't live in NYC or anywhere that makes their own tortillas, that's okay. You can source them from elsewhere. Or if you'd like, you can follow the recipe in my cookbook, Tacos, Recipes and Provocations. It's never been more important to support your local businesses, so I hopped in a cab back to Brooklyn to visit one of my favorite artisanal grocery stores. This place carries just about anything you'd want, including organic and natural products. Needless to say, it provides an invaluable service to the neighborhood. I wanted to pick up some protein for our quesadilla, so I grabbed these locally packaged chicken legs, then headed to the self-checkout to bag it myself. I always carry a reusable bag with me, which is a great way to reduce the amount of trash that ends up in landfills. Here at home, I've spent a good bit of time this year cultivating a backyard garden. The surrounding buildings ensure that my plants don't get quite enough sunlight, but I did manage to replant some epazote that was growing out of the street. Epazote is an herb often used in Mexican cooking. It tastes kind of like gasoline in a good way. I thought it would make a wonderful, hyper-local addition to our urban foraged wild spinach quesadilla. We are going to make something delicious. We are going to make the world a better place while we're doing it. And most importantly, we're going to let everyone know about it. Just look at this bounty. Look at all these locally foraged foods that we got. These are called lamb's quarters. They're also called goosefoot. In Mexico, they're called quelites. In New York City, these are growing like weeds everywhere right now. I foraged these out of the sidewalk. They are delicious, they are nutritious, and they are free. And they are going to be the muse of our quesadilla today. Just going to be honest with you, I live in New York City. Like many of you live in New York City. You know it's gross. So we are going to put these through a sterilization process. I'm just going to dunk them in some water. First rinse of water is for all the smog. Second rinse of water because of all of our canine friends. And the third one just because. And now we have a delicious vegetable given to us free from God, and I feel comfortable serving it to my family. Okay, a lot of people like chicken in their quesadillas. My kids love chicken in their quesadillas, so let's cook some chicken. We have a chicken leg. Add some local New York City water. A little bit of salt. A few leaves of our foraged epazote. And a little bit of the onion and garlic that we got locally at the Green Market. Put that on a burner and let it simmer for an hour and a half. Okay, our chicken is finished cooking. Now we're just going to peel off the skin and give it a shred. If we're making Locavore quesadillas, we need Locavore salsa. Got these local chilies, directly off the plant. Doesn't get any fresher than this. A little bit of our garlic. Some of these cherry tomatoes. So we got all our vegetables in the pan, and we're gonna roast them for about 10 minutes. Okay, so now all of our local salsa vegetables are roasted and toasted. We're gonna peel this garlic. And that can go right inside with a little bit of salt. Next, our toasted chilies. And then all of our tomatoes. Now that I've gone through the process of annoyingly peeling all those cherry tomatoes, careful, they're juicy. Can adjust the consistency of that with a little bit of water, believe it or not. And then I'm going to stir in just a little bit of some chopped local cilantro. And now we got our salsa. So now we're going to clean our wild spinach. So these have some stems which are a little bit tough, so you're just going to peel the leaves off of that. A little bit of stem clinging to it is okay though. You can saute these leaves whole, or you can just give them a light chop. So we've quickly wilted our sidewalk greens in a nice hot pan, and you can see things are really coming together. But we're making quesadillas, and I forgot the cheese. Thankfully, I was able to get some delivered locally and quickly from Amazon Fresh. Amazon really saved the day here. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. Ideally, I would have gone with Oaxacan string cheese, but in the interest of time, I selected an American-made mozzarella. So now we have all of our local ingredients ready to make our quesadilla. We're going to start with the tortilla in a nice hot pan. And we're going to griddle that until it starts to get soft. Give that a flip. Lay in some of our cheese. A little bit of our chicken, not too much. Of course, our wild spinach. And I like to build a little bit of salsa right into the quesadilla. Fold that over, and we're just going to cook this until the outside starts to get a little bit crispy and the cheese starts to melt. After an entire day of foraging, gathering, sanitizing, and cooking, it's time to eat. That is local. That's saving the world one bite at a time. Thank you for joining me on my cooking show. Be sure to like and subscribe.